So how do you store olive oil? Like, do you put it in the fridge, or like, what's the proper way to have it at your house?
Great question. How to store olive oil? Well, light, heat, air, and time are the enemy of any fat or oil and probably most food. So the best way is to, once you're done using it, pouring some olive oil on your favorite salad, of course, and then you just put the cap back on it. So keep it away from any direct heat. So that means you're not going to store it on the counter right beside a window where you get the afternoon sun beating on it, or right beside a fridge where the compressor is obviously giving off heat, or above the stove where obviously heat rises off the stove. So just no heat. I mean, if it's sitting on the counter and it's getting a little bit of sunlight hitting it for like a few minutes, that isn't going to do much to the oil, especially if you're buying your olive oil in a dark glass bottle, which that's a given. It needs to be in a dark glass bottle, which means it doesn't need to be necessarily put into the pantry, but for optimal storage, then yeah, you can throw it in a place that absolutely gets no light on it. The light, heat, and air. I think I covered them all already. Light, heat. One question we usually get come the winter months here in Canada is, what are those round globs doing in the inside of the bottle? What is that stuff? Is it mold? Has it gone bad? Well, the answer is that the olive oil is cold. Our warehouse is stored, the temperature in our warehouse is no more than 15 degrees Celsius and a little cooler in the winter. And that's where we like to keep it. That's the optimal temperature to store not just olive oil, but many types of food. And this is all naturally occurring because our warehouse is actually all underground. So at certain temperatures for different olive oils, but it's usually around 10, 12, 15 degrees Celsius is where there's the certain waxes in the oil, because there's different types of fat, of course, within the oil, but this is the wax that is found on the outside of the fruit typically is what congeals or solidifies first in the bottle, and it sort of adheres to the side of the bottle, or you'll see it at the bottom of the bottle. So once the temperature drops even further, then other fats start to congeal, and usually around 8 degrees Celsius is where most of these fats will solidify. So if you do put your olive oil in the fridge, and this isn't 100% scientifically sound, but if you put it in the fridge, then the entire bottled contents will go solid and it'll basically look like butter. And this is part of what people are using to see if their olive oil has been cut or not. And some cases there's very rare, but some legitimate olive oils may not fully congeal, but it depends on how long it has stayed in the cold storage for. Whereas some vegetable, mostly what you see in like antipasto bars and refrigerated goods that have been packed with oil, or typically it's a vegetable oil and it doesn't go solid because it's vegetable oil and it has a much lower temperature where it congeals or solidifies.